Shut up and sit down. Hey everyone, let's go get started. Cool. So I can't open my camera, no worries. If you all can see the screen, perfect. Let's get started. I want to thank every single one of you guys for joining today and getting more educated and really joining our session with instructor Andy that I will introduce very soon. Today's session we'll be covering how to grow your wealth with crypto. What beginners need to know about crypto and pretty much everything you need to know for long term. Let's get started. Cool. In this presentation, the key talking points that we will cover is what crypto allows, centralized and decentralized wallets, how to get started in crypto, key safety features for holding crypto, understanding market cycles, tokenomics, risk reward management, which is very crucial, where the market is going in the long run. That's what we'll be covering and key points that will be discussed today by instructor Andy. Who am I? As I mentioned, I can't share my screen with you guys, but you guys can hear me. So who am I? This is me on the screen. My name is Jamie Ramirez. I actually have a background in finance. I've been stock trading for a year and a half now. My background, as I mentioned, in finance has been for over 6 years. I actually worked as a financial advisor straight out of college before actually joining Richard and Day Trade Today. And I'm super excited to be here with you guys today. So who is your instructor? On the screen, you guys will see Andres, aka Andy. He specializes in crypto market. He will be your instructor today, and he is very knowledgeable in the crypto side. He began trading and investing in stock market for 8 years. Back in 2017 is when he started investing into crypto, which he got in at a very great time, the beginning almost of crypto. His background before trading, he worked in telecommunications for 5 years, from 2015 to 2020. He began trading the financial markets full time in 2020. Instructors. So these are your instructors that if you guys are in the Telegram group, you guys have probably seen Omar, Colin, and Quincy, and now Andres or Andy. These are your instructors and Day Trade Today inside the group. If you guys are looking now, you guys can see our junior traders. You guys are very familiar with their names, most likely, as you guys have probably seen them also calling out trades inside the group. We have Annie, Andres, your new instructor, Cesar, Kareem, Sahad, Mirko, Noel, Shakar, Anis, and Mario. Group updates. Before we get started, guys, I want to make sure I give you guys an update. And again, I want to thank every single one of you for jumping on this Wednesday. Moving forward, we will have a session every Wednesday, so keep a lookout for that link and make sure you're signing up. Again, they're free, and we are here to help. Quick group updates before we get started on today's session, hosted by Andy. We currently have 9,500 members in the Signals group on Telegram. We have been growing like crazy and very, very fast, as I mentioned, and thus those are the reasons why the group has shifted over into level 2, and now it has become a Signals group, right? Every 500 members that join, we are giving away an NFT of Wolf Street, a Wolf Street NFT. So make sure you guys are sharing the link to the group with your friends, your loved ones, your close ones that also are interested in learning how to stock trade, crypto trade, and invest, and are looking to really get educated in what we're doing, right? Another NFT will be given away at 10K. So again, please share this group with everyone you know and help us continue growing as a community. The second update we would like to share with you guys is the Wolf Street, right? Wolf Street is doing an airdrop until Mint Day. Mint Day will be on the 26th or on Black Friday at midnight. If you're not yet on the whitelist, please reach out to any of the instructors you saw on the screen, myself or Omar or anybody on the team, or Richard himself. So you guys have the option to join the whitelist. The whitelist is currently closed out, but big announcement, every single one of you guys that stays to the end will have a chance to win an NFT and also have a chance to join the whitelist that has already been closed, but will be opening up for you guys until midnight. Many of you guys have been messaging us about, hey, can I get on the whitelist? Do I have to wait until Mint Day? Well, every single one of you guys that waits all the way into the end will have the opportunity to jump on the whitelist. Only for those of you on here until midnight. It will be open up only until midnight for you guys. That's a second update. The third one, real quick, is the Day Trade Today app that we're super excited about, that will be launching in January of this year coming up. And thus the reason why, again, I mentioned the group in the Telegram group has shifted onto a signals only group to provide the highest quality education and trades for you guys as we continue to grow, as we continue to educate and move on into the next level of Day Trade Today, which will be his very own app. And fourth update is the bootcamp, right? So many of you guys have heard, many of you guys have not maybe, the bootcamp. There's the last bootcamp going down on December 6th and 10th. It will be hosted at 1 p.m. Eastern. Again, this bootcamp is for those of you who are serious about getting educated by Richard himself, right? This is the bootcamp where you will learn from step one all the way into graduating into being a top trader, a profitable trader. Many of us have taken the bootcamp and are here today to help you guys continue to educate. Don't miss out on the bootcamp. It's the last one of the year. And again, for those of you on this session, you guys will receive a discount. So make sure you guys reach out to Andy, myself, any junior trader, or Richard himself after this call. Again, if you're still not on the Telegram group, make sure you jump on. And the last update, and I will remind you guys again, for every single one of you guys on this call, make sure you stay all the way to the end, because we will be giving more updates on more changes. And the new one here is, if you guys don't have an idea on how to get started, I want to learn, but I don't know what my next steps are. I see the Day Trade Today products. I don't know which one's the best one for me. We are opening up a contact so that you can make a free call with one of our team members and get educated and get ready to start launching towards your education. So we will be opening that up. You guys will receive that link after this session so that you guys can go ahead and book and schedule one of us so we can answer your questions, help you get started, select the best product for you based on your education level and based on your goals. Those are the quick updates we want to run with you guys before we get started. Without further ado, let's get started. Andy, take it away, bro.
Awesome. So yeah, just really quickly, I want to make sure you guys can hear me, Jamie.
Yep, we can hear you, bro.
Solid. Okay. So yeah, first things first, just want to thank everybody for being here today, for giving the opportunity and time to really get some education and learn what it is that cryptocurrency has to offer. Wanted to try to give you guys a video. Jamie, can you see me?
Yeah, I can see the screen.
You can't see me though, right?
No.
Okay, I'm not too sure why you might not be able to see me. I wanted to give you guys a face with the webinar, but all good. So ultimately, going right into it. What crypto allows? So the two things that ultimately keep coming back to when it comes to the basis of cryptocurrency is the decentralization and the entrepreneurship that it provides for us as we grow in society and as mass adoption really comes onto the blockchain. When I really want to be able to give you guys a video. I'm not too sure why it won't allow me to. Let's see here. Optimize the video clip, meeting info. Sorry, here 1 second. Excuse the technical difficulties. Just feel like it's a little bit more personable if you guys can see me. Oh, hold on. There we go. Excuse us here. All right, nonetheless, I'm just going to get right into it. So going into the decentralization, right? So for ultimately with cryptocurrency, what it comes down to is the decentralization and the entrepreneurship. Now with decentralization, first thing here is DeFi. So talking about decentralized finance. So with decentralized finance, really breaking away from what we now refer to as traditional finance, right? Your traditional banking institutions, considering your Wells Fargo, your JP Morgan, Bank of America, whoever you currently bank with now, wherever you keep your money at, is in essence a centralized institution, meaning it's ran by a ultimately an entity that is regulated by the government and has certain requirements and fiduciary responsibilities when it comes to handling the people's money. So with that, right, tying into decentralized finance, it really gives you the ability to take matters into your own hands in terms of your own financial rewards and tapping into your assets without necessarily being obligated to pay any other entity for someone to earn money off of the money that you borrowed. I know that might sound a little wordy. So to break it down, right? So staking. First off, what you can do with cryptocurrency is in the matter of the currency that you have and you manage, you can actually borrow against your assets and pay yourself back in interest. So when it comes to holding money in a bank account, you're not accumulating any interest, you're not growing in appreciation. In essence, you're actually suffering from inflation, but we'll get into that later on. And you can actually earn interest on your cryptocurrency account. So with that, there's a few of them out there. For example, Celsius, Vault, CoinFi, CoinLoan, and many others that you can earn off of your existing accumulation. Now, with that, you are able to really take the overall institution model and flip it upside down, right? So instead of having to pay back a loan to your lender, you're paying yourself back. So you're going to gain the benefit of the interest that you are paying yourself on, and really detach yourself from what you would traditionally go to pay a banking loan. Not only that, but you are able to do that without having to worry about running your credit score, without giving any, for lack of a better word, invasive information, in terms of like your income to debt ratio and things of that matter. You're collateralizing your own financial assets to really grow and earn off of the money that you're borrowing from yourself. So going forward, another form of decentralization is what's called the DAO. It's a decentralized autonomous organization built off of smart contracts. So with smart contracts, the ability on smart contracts is that you can ultimately hold a company and build a company with the responsibilities and the obligations automatically fulfilled, so that there are no intermediaries when it comes to managing that company. So for example, there's a group of us, there's a group of 5, right? And we all want to build this company. So we all put in our assets into this decentralized platform. We build up and code the smart contracts based on the blockchain, and it allows us to build everything from scratch in terms of if we needed marketing done, if we needed sales done, if we needed a videographer, what have you, that we can go out to a contractor and they would be able to then take part in our decentralized organization and earn the benefit of our business model. So like whatever that business model may be, it would be handled within the immediate group of people that are staking themselves into that organization. So to kind of give you an example on the opposite side of that, currently, if you were to buy into a company, right, you would go in through a brokerage account, buy a stock, and you would earn based off of the appreciation of that stock, based off of their business model, their revenue and earnings to growth. And then on the side of that, you would earn dividends, based on your accumulation of your holdings and based off of the company's performance. However, that's all managed based on the team that is the vice president, the CEOs, the CFOs. There are so many people that get paid in that company based on the performance before a shareholder would even realize a profit or an appreciation to their holdings. So with this model, it very much gives people the ability to tie in and really take direct ownership of a business, of an organization, and create something and collateralize their risk in the company to really see it through. Not only that, but it's easy for people to get in and out of a company. So for example, let's just say someone is building a marketing company and I feel that I can contribute to their business model. Well, I can put in a stake of my assets and into that company, contribute my part. And from there, as the business model grows, hopefully with our work and collaboration, we see an appreciation within that organization. I can remove myself, take the appreciation of my assets with me and go about my business because I got paid through a smart contract. There was no HR that I had to talk to. There was no interview process. It's all very seamless and it's all very peer-to-peer to be able to build upon each other. So with that being said, I do believe DAO is something that more and more people will start to adapt and start to hear about as mass adoption gets implemented. So going down still, the list is direct ownership of assets. So I'm sure some of you guys may have heard of an NFT in the past here. NFTs have exploded this past year. Now, I'm sure some people probably are still confused and people probably still ask, what is an NFT? What is a non-fungible token? And the simplest way to really put that comes down to the collateralization, the tokenization of an asset that you created, right? So when it comes to an aspiring artist, whether it be a musician or a photographer, a lot of what they have to go through in order to be branded, in order to grow a reputation, is to find funding, right? So when it comes to a record label, for example, signing an artist, the artist is obviously, doing a lot of the legwork, performing the music, writing the lyrics, etc. But the record label is funding them. So you at times see maybe a 30, 40, maybe even 50% split between the revenue that's generated by that artist. So what an NFT does, an NFT is a direct ownership of an asset that is recorded on the blockchain and gives the holder of that NFT direct access and direct ownership and proof of ownership of that asset as it lives on the blockchain. So if an artist is, developing music, right? They invest in themselves, they record their own song, they put it on SoundCloud, they begin to get known and they start to sell that song or that music as an NFT. Well, now they are earning, pretty much 100% of the rewards of the earnings when it comes to the progress and to the development and to the growth of that artist. As that artist blows up and becomes more and more known, the ability to own a part of that artist's pretty much upbringing is somewhat invaluable. It provides really groundship, and one of the cool things about that is that as a supporter of that artist, you actually have the ability to profit and earn with that artist. So within the smart contract, let's just say I own the rights to a song that I bought from an artist, and it becomes, he gets more and more popular, his work becomes more and more expensive. If I were to sell that song, the rights to that song, to another person because they wanted to attain his music, he not only would the artist gain reoccurring revenue, residual revenue, but I would also make money based on the appreciation of that asset. And now with an NFT, it can be anything from a song to a piece of artwork to really owning property and a lot more. So kind of tying into the entrepreneurship, right? The collateralize of a community. So with an NFT, obviously, like as an artist, you are somewhat of a leader of a community. People like your songs, people like your artistry. So within that, there's a group of supporters, and within that group of supporters, we tend to grow and really grow as a community to get to know one another, etc. And that applies in a vast amount of ways. So yeah, just the NFT overall concept is just something that I believe more and more people will begin to understand and really grow on, even more so than crypto. But going forward here, so being able to build your own company, kind of going into the DAOs again, and then create your own brand. So one of the things too, like if you're a part of the DTT group, you can see that we have our wolves, right? And so within that, we have built a brand off of DTT that you can now say that you are a part of that brand. Not only are you following, on social medias and that, but you have a stake in what it is that we represent, right? So if Rich were no longer here, right, what were you a part of when DTT, was going through its phases, right? You can say that you own a piece of that history, of that artistry. So there's a lot that it speaks into. And now I know I mentioned blockchain, so I want to emphasize that blockchain technology is what makes this all possible. What is blockchain? So it's a system of recording information in a way that it makes it difficult and somewhat impossible to hack or to cheat the system. So with blockchain, it's a digital ledger that's duplicated and distributed across the entire network of computers to support the infrastructure of an asset. One of the easiest ways that I can explain this and that I've been able to make it make sense to someone is that a lot of what blockchain was built on happened before its growth, before it was developed on the Bitcoin, right? Going all the way back to the early 2000s, right? To LimeWire, Napster days. The way that you would get your song downloaded and pirated on the internet was through an accumulation of different data from different computers to formulate that one song. So LimeWire didn't hold, direct access to that song on their database and then give it to you to download. No, it was gathered information from a variety of networks, from a variety of computers, from a vast amount of computers to formulate and to confirm that this song, right, is downloadable now to you. So with the blockchain, it's pretty much the same thing. As we all participate on the network of any cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, for example, we are all enforcing the validity of that cryptocurrency through the use of our computers, through the use of the internet, through the use of our network. So with that, it's very much more complex in terms of coding and things of that nature that I won't get into. But the simplest way to put it is that blockchain is built off of a distributed network that we all support as we contribute to it. And that's what can support a lot of these decentralizations and smart contracts, and overall just give you the ability to make a lot of things possible in terms of data and building, foundational monetary principles. So going forward, centralized and decentralized wallets. So with managing cryptocurrency, there's really two ways to go about it. There are centralized ways of going about it, and there are obviously decentralized ways of going about it. With a centralized way, some of the examples that you see on here are Coinbase, Binance, Kraken, FTX, etc. So anything that you have to register your personal information to would be considered a centralized exchange. You have to register your personal information as your address, your social, your bank account information, what have you, in order to gain access to purchase said cryptocurrency. With the decentralized exchange, right on here, also known as DEX, you might see that abbreviation. Uniswap, SushiSwap, 1inch, ViperSwap, Kyber, 0x, iBalancer, etc. There's a lot out there. With the decentralized exchange, it allows you to interact and to convert and transfer crypto to trade currencies without having to register any personal information. How you do that is through wallets, right? So with a centralized wallet, you are basically keeping your money, kind of going back to that banking that I talked about at the beginning, your Bank of America, your Chase. With your centralized wallets, you can keep your crypto on a centralized exchange like Coinbase, Binance, etc. And you ultimately operate in the way that a traditional brokerage account or stock exchange would. You can trade on there. It's perfectly fine. There's liquidity on there amongst other traders. However, you don't really own the rights to your currency. And with decentralized wallets, you do. Now, between the two, to kind of give an example, with decentralized wallets, you are able to really take control of your currency by direct ownership. Now, the way you know that you have direct ownership is typically through a seed phrase, through a code, a password, if you will, that you must memorize. If you were to have currency in your decentralized wallet and you lose access to that wallet and you did not keep your codes, which I'll kind of get more into depth on some safety measures to making sure that you stay safe on your decentralized side, you would lose that currency, right? So if it was in a centralized account, there are ways that you can, obviously get back in and get your currency out of the centralized exchange. However, with decentralized exchange, you're really taking that money in your own hands. It's kind of like having all of your cash not in a bank account, but really just sitting in your house under your mattress. However, with the decentralized wallets, there's a lot more of encryption. There's a lot more safety that you need to do because you have direct access to flow in and out with your currencies. So some of the examples of a decentralized wallet would be like MetaMask, Trust, My Ether wallet, blockchain.com, Ledger or Trezor. Ledger and Trezor are also known as hard wallets. And those are that's a way of keeping your cryptocurrency offline and not necessarily saved on a hot wallet, like directly on a computer. So with that, kind of one of the things to getting started on crypto, right, is how do you get started? How do you buy your first crypto? So one of the recommendations that I have is to start centralized. One of the easiest things to do, and there's nothing wrong with it, especially with the United States, kind of confirming that they are not planning on banning cryptocurrency or anything like that. They're actually embracing it, including it in the infrastructure bill that they're passing, and also in means of regulation. So with that, starting centralized is probably one of the easiest ways that you can go in there, buy a little bit. One of the things that I did for my wife is I just went into her account, set it up for her, and I have it set up to automatically purchase a little bit of crypto, every so often. And it's easy. You can do it. It's automated. You can forget about it. And it makes it very simple to do before you kind of level up, just to get your feet wet. Now, when it comes to basic due diligence, you want to know what it is that you're buying, like anything else. It is ultimately an asset that you wish to appreciate, and you don't want to get stuck in something that has no means of appreciation, that has no fundamentals. And I'll go over a little bit about how to pick, kind of like the right tokens and what to look for in a little bit. Dollar cost averaging. So one of the things on dollar cost averaging is I personally like this strategy for long-term investing. It works great, time and time again. And this is just one of the main key fundamentals that you can keep on your portfolios to really make sure that you're growing and accumulating cryptos as much as possible and at great buying points. At points that really make sense, that can really earn you some appreciation. One thing too is to make sure you keep track of your positions. So after a while, you can start to get overwhelmed with the amount of crypto that you may be interested in terms of, you started small and now you find yourself across 10 different positions, and you don't even know like where you bought anymore. It's just all automated and you're flowing along perfectly. Not for any financial or tax advice, but I do believe it's important for you to make sure you keep track of your positions, where you're buying, where you're selling, and to make sure that you're aware if you're, either in the profits or in the loss in terms of allocating any position out there. Another thing too is it's important to be a part of a community. So one of the things about this industry is that you can get lost and overwhelmed with the amount of information that's out there, right? Like you can get just you'll start drinking out of a fire hose when it comes to the information that you can find. And it's not always like good information. Sometimes you'll find yourself, diving into the negative, connotations of the market and really getting just kind of scared in terms of like, why did I jump into this in the first place? So being part of a community is very important. That's where I highly suggest DTT. because we have a foundation that really supports growth and kind of keeps us in checks and balances in terms of how we share information and the overall opinions of the market. Now, when it comes to being a part of a community as well, even growing on your own and formulating relationships with real people, outside, just like one-to-one, can be, an excellent form of just not even therapy, but of just being able to understand from different perspectives, different ideologies, and different just concepts that are out there that you maybe didn't understand. Sometimes it takes a different person to say something to you in order for you to finally get it. So that's why it's highly important to be a part of a community, for sure. And then, yeah, I mean, I kind of touched on this, is, to not pay attention to negativity. In every market, there's cycles, there's ups and downs. And like I said, you can get caught up in the negatives really quickly. And it's important to keep a level head, when in any position that you hold when it comes to accumulating crypto. So some of the safety tips here for holding crypto, kind of going back to the centralized and decentralized methods. So there are two major ways, again, to store your crypto. One is leaving it in the custody of someone else. This is a lot like using your bank to store dollars. So like you can keep your crypto on a centralized exchange like Coinbase or even crypto.com, or anywhere that you buy your crypto with your personal information registered, again. And there's a second way to do it, which is to take custody of that yourself. Now, one of the things that I say, that if you keep your crypto on a centralized exchange and it's not really yours, you don't really own it, you do, but you don't. And why I say that is because if your Coinbase account was to go down, right? Let's just say Coinbase's platform is being revamped or updated or whatever's going on their infrastructure, and they have shut down access to their exchange for 4 hours, 24 hours, whatever. You now don't have the ability to use your currency, your assets, to do whatever it is that you want, right? You can't get out of that position. Now, your currency is still appreciating or depreciating because it's in the market, but there's nothing that you can do because you don't have access to that crypto. It's not in your decentralized wallet. So with that being said, the second way to store your crypto and to keep custody of it is to have a decentralized wallet. Now, really quickly, going back to the centralized, I do have some tips on there. So even if you stay centralized, it's perfectly fine. It's an okay method to do and to have. I personally have crypto on centralized exchanges and decentralized exchanges. It's good to stay diversified. But you want to do everything possible, right? You want to authorize two-factor authentication so that it sends you a text message if you're withdrawing crypto or selling it or what have you. You can register a secondary email for verification to make sure that you have, again, the second kind of validation of your transactions that are going on. Keep your software, up to date, and keep antivirus on your computers. And stay disconnected from Wi-Fi if you're not using it. So one of the things that I do on my computers is if I'm like done using it, I'll actually disconnect it from Wi-Fi. I'll turn it off or put it on airplane mode until I come back to use it again, just because you never know. And you can never really be too safe. And then also too, don't make any trades or transactions on like unknown internet access points. So like at a Starbucks or like anybody's like public Wi-Fi. You want to make sure that where you're transacting on is secured, and it is a good place to do your business on, because there are just a lot out there for hackers and things like that can really gain access and manipulate your information. So going to the decentralized tips, so storing your seed phrase offline. So when it comes to setting up like a MetaMask or a Trust wallet or any decentralized wallet, you get a 12-word, sometimes 24-word phrase. And I highly recommend, and it's as a rule of thumb, is to never keep that screenshot on your phone, never keep it saved as a note on your computer or on your cell phone or what have you. Always make sure that you keep it offline, written down on a piece of paper, somewhere secured where you know that you can get it to it, digitally or electronically. Now, with that also being said, one thing to keep in mind is that if for some reason, you were unable to gain access to your crypto. Let's just say you were to pass away for any unfortunate reason, your family would not have access to that information unless you give it to them. So it is important for you to keep a third party, a trusted third party, whether it be an attorney, a loved one that you can trust, to also let them know like where you're keeping that information. Because if you have your assets and they've appreciated, and you know what I mean, like if it sets up a good amount of money for them, you want to make sure that they can access that in the event that you are not able to be here to do that for them. So one other thing too is to start small. Once you're decentralized, when you're transacting and sending currency across the blockchain, it was unfortunate. One of our junior traders sent some currency from a centralized wallet to a decentralized wallet, and I'm not too sure what happened, but they sent a good amount and it was lost in the transaction because it was sent to an incorrect wallet. Now, it's unfortunate because you really have the power to take your money into your own hands, but if you make a mistake, that responsibility is entirely on you. So you always want to make sure that if you're sending currency from one wallet to another, you're verifying the addresses on there that you're sending it to. You're confirming the amount of time, you're reading every step rigorously to make sure that you're processing these transactions appropriately, and that you're doing them safely. So leading forward, understanding the market cycles, right? So with crypto, there is a lot of volatility due to the regulated and unregulated sides of the market. For the past 10 years, a lot of this market has been unregulated, right? A lot of it's been the wild, wild west. A lot of it's been unknown. And it's as it becomes a more and more respected asset class, as we get more mass adoption, there is naturally going to be laws of regulation, whether it's within the United States or whether it's within any country that you live in, based off of, really at the end of the day, tax reporting, right? Like the government and the assets that you're accumulating, everybody in terms of the government point wants to get their fair share, right? Wants to get a part of that appreciation. Yeah, no, I'm still not able to do it. I'm sorry, I just wanted to try to see if I can add the camera. Not too sure why. So with that, the regulation of the market, typically it's going to have negative and positive connotations to it, right? Now, the negative part is that people like the decentralized part. People like the anonymity of working through the ins and outs of crypto and staying anonymous and not really having a higher entity or a higher power telling them how to manage their currencies or how to report transactions. You know what I'm saying? People want to be able to do business and conduct business without any intermediaries telling them how they have to do that. So with that being said, there is also the positive part to regulation. So with the regulation, it also brings more security, right? It brings more investors the peace of mind and the comfort to know that their money is going into an asset class that has somewhat of a fiduciary like law and responsibility, and that their money is not just at risk for someone to come in and hack them or rug pull is a term that you can use as well in terms of like an asset that you're investing in, and the entire liquidity for that asset is taken away. So the more regulation that this market has, the more respected of an asset class it will be, and the more money that will flow into it. So with that being said, volatility is just something that you have to get used to. So if you've been in the market, you already know what I'm talking about. If you're just now starting in the markets, definitely prepare yourself and don't put in more than you're able to afford to lose. And one of the things about that, it doesn't mean that you're going to lose that money in terms of it like going to zero in the assets that you're picking. And hopefully you're picking good ones. But it means that you're not going to be able to use that money for quite some time until you see the appreciation that you want, or that you foresee happening or coming to that project. So it's important to know that There's going to be a lot of FUD, the next bullet point. There's going to be a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt because nothing is 100% certain. There could be anything that sets off, the slightest or biggest volatility in the markets. And it's important to be prepared for that and to not bite off more than you can chew because you can get very overwhelmed as you take bigger positions in these assets and they drop down maybe 30, 40, 50, 60, 80% in short amount of time. But as you can see, and as history shows in the traditional markets, the markets always tend to recover. And especially if you're picking good quality assets. So with that being said, kind of covering the short-term and long-term trends. Right now, if you're in the market, you obviously know that Bitcoin is pulling back. We just hit an all-time high of about 69,000, and we're looking at 59,000. So in short-term trends, you have to be prepared. Again, tying into the volatility when it comes to your positions, your long-term goals. You have to be prepared for that volatility and to understand that the short-term trends are just the way the market ebbs and flows, right? There's two sides to the market. People make money on both sides of the market, whether it's going up or it's going down. And you have to be prepared that for your strategy, it might not work right away. But if you set up the proper rules and expectations, you can see your long-term growth really come to fruition. So tying in here, let's see here. Looking at like coins, right? Like I said, picking good coins. So some tokenomics, right? So where do you find information on your crypto? Two of the places that I recommend are CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko. Some things to consider and to look for is going to be the market cap, so the size of that crypto project in terms of its liquidity. So if a market cap project is at maybe $1 million, and you believe that it has the potential to grow to $10 million, you're looking at a 10x move right there, right? So with market cap, you kind of want to see what the project is currently valued at, realize some potentials that it may have in terms of its appreciation and where you foresee a market cap growing to. Additionally, things is to consider is a problem that solves. So is there some type of use case to it, right? Ties into the next point. So for example, one of the coins that I follow, it really helps out and solves a lot of the problems that are currently going on in the supply chain. And it helps break down and keep track of and get rid of a lot of the noise that it takes to get one product from one end of the world to another. So does it solve a problem is what you want to look for in the coins that you're buying. Now, when it comes to users and usage, again, kind of like who does that solve the problem for, right? Does it solve the problem for, your shipping companies, right? Does it solve the problem for Amazon? Does it solve the problem for whoever it is that's involved in the supply chain to give a product from one end to the other is just an example. Now, when it comes to decentralization, going back to the very beginning, is ultimately what classifies a cryptocurrency. So is it built off of a decentralized platform? Is it something that has the ability to see what's called the white paper on? Can you see how it was built? Do you see it built on the blockchain? That's ultimately how you're able to do that. Going into liquidity, so kind of tying into the market cap, obviously you want to be able to appreciate your asset and grow and take your money out without there being any type of major volatility. So for example, if you invested into a currency at $1 and appreciated to $5, are you going to be able to take your money out at $5 without realizing any slippage is what you would call any variations in price? Are you able to take your money in and out and flow in and out of that coin easily? Another example would be for like you were to buy into a risky asset that doesn't have a lot of liquidity. Well, your money might be tied up and you might be kind of stuck because there are no buyers on the other side of your sell order. So you want to make sure that you pick something that's somewhat liquid, and if you're getting into a position. And then additionally kind of goes into the future, right? So tying into the users and the problems it solves, is there a future for this product? Is there the ability to, upscale this currency off of the problems that it solves? Can it be integrated in everyday lives? Can it grow from here, and can it maintain a healthy business model that will flourish in the years and decades to come? And then last thing too is that behind every currency, every crypto project, there's a team, right? There's some team that was there to build it up, to come up with the business model, with the concept, and it has a lot to do with reputation. So when you're looking at the tokenomics, just kind of doing some basic due diligence on the team, like where did this coin come from, who's building it up, who is backing it, what are some high quality names and people that have credibility that are involved in the project, and that kind of just goes to show that the money flows in flocks. So just something to consider as well when you're looking at the tokenomics of a coin. So really quickly with risk management, definitely kind of goes into trading, but it also goes into building bigger positions as well, right? You might realize that a coin that you've been watching has been going parabolic, right? For example, if you're in the DTT group, we had Rich call out BGX, and it went from last night, we called it at about $2, $2 or $3, and it went up to $4.50. And so what a lot of people might have done is didn't realize it till it already went and made the big move, and you FOMO'd into it, right? You had fear of missing out of any more appreciation. So really avoid that, because that plays a lot into your psyche in terms of making bad decisions based off of emotion. So when you're doing that, it doesn't set you up for good success, and really more so often you're not going to see the reward that you were thinking of getting. And FOMO can really help, or sorry, really hurt your account in the long run if you do it too often. Another thing too is don't over leverage yourself. So I know in a lot of positions that you can trade on the markets, you can take like a 10x position, 10 times worth, and just borrow money. Another term for it is called margin trading. So I definitely recommend not margin trading if you're just starting in crypto. Take it slow and really just trade on spot in terms of the money that you have readily available. Now, when it comes to taking profits and cutting losses quickly, it's always important to formulate a plan when you're trading. When it comes to a longer term investment, you do need to kind of give yourself the ability to really recognize and see the ebbs and flows of the market cycle. But take your profits respectably and quickly cut your losses if you are, if you bit off more than you can chew, and you are biting your nails because you're down X amount of money on the position that you took, and you can't sleep at night, then it's safe to say that you definitely took on too much. Another thing too is to study and learn some charting. You know what I mean? Learn what it takes for the market to really have its up and down trends. What is going on in the economy as a whole, right? In the entire world, you kind of have to have your ear and mind on the overall market, and just to understand, where we could go, and to understand really just where your money is at risk, and then also the reward that you can recognize in terms of your positions. And then lastly too is to understand your psychology. So for me personally, I have an easier time building and allocating positions over a longer period of time, and really just holding on to secure positions and not necessarily scalping. Scalping is definitely a lucrative method in terms of taking profits quickly and realizing some serious money in a shorter amount of time. However, I know that in my psyche that I get anxious very quickly, taking into a size and looking for a quick reward. Not to say that it's not possible, but for me personally, I don't see as much success in that method. But there are so many methods that are available that we teach, that you are able to really kind of build your own strategy and apply to your own lifestyle. So it's definitely important for you to understand your psychology. So one of the last things here, kind of wrapping it up, is where is Bitcoin and the entire market going? So two pictures that I wanted to share on here is based off of the valuation on how we value money, how we grade money, to compare to gold and to fiat. There are typically eight different ways that we value money, right? Is it durable, portable, fungible, verifiable, divisible, scarce? Does it have established history? And is it censorship resistant? So I won't go into all of these, but what I will say is that in terms of cash is king, right? We all have heard that phrase or that term. When it comes to settling any type of transaction, cash is typically one of the fastest ways for us to, pay for something with anonymity, in getting it accepted, right? Everyone will easily accept cash. Now, in terms of its fungibility, cash can live digitally, and it's also physical, right? So you can take a dollar from someone and you can deposit it, and it will be, obviously accepted by the bank. So with Bitcoin, as it becomes, more and more adopted, the ultimate disruptor of money that Bitcoin is kind of goes into this next picture here, is the stock to flow model. So with the scarcity of Bitcoin, there's only 21 million that will ever be mined. There's more than 7 billion people on this planet. You really have to kind of get yourself to understand that the disruption of money that Bitcoin kind of presents to a new class of investor, to a new generation of people that were really somewhat failed by the traditional systems in terms of education, not only traditional education, but just in what we thought money was, really having a better understanding on where we can find value, right? Where you can protect buying power, where you can really allocate a lot of your money, and you can see it appreciate over time. So currently the market cap, the entire crypto market cap, is a little less than 3 trillion. I think we bounced between 2.5 and 3 right now. Just to kind of give you an example, gold's market cap is 10 trillion. The market cap of the stock exchanges is 40 trillion. And the overall market in terms of Forex and world currencies is somewhere around 400 trillion. I want to say, don't quote me on that. But where we're at right now is definitely still in the early stages in terms of the long-term run. And not to say that I where I think Bitcoin is going to exactly in the exact amount of time, but I do believe that this is definitely a game changer in terms of how we preserve our wealth, how we grow our monetary value, and how we ultimately look at money as a different tool. Now, while I do believe that, the dollar was the best tool for the job, the past century, there's nothing wrong with getting your tools updated. It's just a matter of learning how to use them. So with that being said, last thing here is just to master a strategy, right? Be patient with yourself. Understanding how to trade, right? Building your positions, study. You can never get too much studying in, and just prepare yourself to be open-minded and to gather as much information and education, and establish rules for yourself. Establish rules on how much you're able to expose yourself to a position, and respect your own rules. So it really comes down to self-management. Now, I know a lot of times, like, people will rather have a financial advisor, or put money into a 401k, or put money aside that is being managed by someone else, because it's easier and they would rather have someone else do it. But with this, it's definitely a much more empowering tool, right? You really take the ability to take money into your own hands and make of it what you will. It doesn't have to be something that is just, that you have to be ignorant to, right? You can learn how to use money appropriately and make it work for you. And so as you know, the time goes on and as more and more people get educated, and as you know, the younger generation will adopt this model, it's inevitably going to be more digitization. We have to be prepared for this in a long-term perspective. So staying within your means, staying within your rules, and just, you know, understanding where the markets are going to go. You know, no one knows for certain, you know, what tomorrow is going to hold in terms of its appreciation or its, you know, volatility. But as long as you have an open mind and stay aware of the possibilities, you're a step ahead in terms of how you can position yourself for the long term. So yeah, I mean, with that being said, one of the questions, I see some questions here in the chat here. I wanted to answer. So is it good to keep, is it good to separate in multiple wallets? Yes. So personally, I do believe that separating in multiple wallets is a good practice, because you're not taking the risk of, let's just say for one example, your wallet gets hacked and you kept everything in that one wallet. Well, now it's a complete loss, right? So keeping your assets diversified over a different period of, over different wallets will be is a good practice to have. And you never know, you know what I mean, if you need to get to different money or different currencies, to stay allocated in different exchanges just gives you the ability to stay flexible. So here are some of the group testimonials. If you guys have any more questions at all, please feel free to contact me directly or type it in here in the chat. Just make sure to join the DTT group on the Telegram. As you can see here, we've been calling out some trades and making out some money for a lot of people. And yeah, I mean, it's an honor to be a part of this community. I do want to just kind of close it up and just thank Rich for the opportunity to make this presentation to you guys. And you know, next time around, I definitely hope to get in more depth with you guys, even on a one-on-one basis, because this was just kind of a brief introduction. Crypto has a vast amount of potential that you know, not everyone can understand all in one day. So again, I do want to thank you guys for your time, for being here, and I hope to see you guys in the group. So Jamie, you wanna wrap it up for us?
Absolutely. Going to turn on my camera. Can you guys see me? Andy, can you guys see me?
Yeah, I can see.
Yeah, cool. Yes, guys, again, I want to thank you guys for being on here, right? We started with 62 people, I noticed, and we ended up with 80, 81, 82. So before I go move forward into the next slide, well, actually, Andy, can you move into the next slide, please?
Yeah, I'm done.
Great. Before I start with this slide, as you guys can tell, furthering our education, right? I just want to thank Andy for going in really in depth and breaking down education with the crypto market, a market that is very, very new to many of us. And we're here, right? Every single one of you guys, all 78 of you guys that are still here, have made a decision today to further your education, right? To many of you guys are probably on the way home, right, from work. Many of you guys probably are just getting home or on your way to work if you're on the other side of the world. And I just want you guys to do one thing before I even go over the slide. I want you guys to think about your current life and your goals you have for this year. And I ask this and I say this because we're wrapping up the year very, very quick, right? There's only a few more weeks before December, and that's the last month of this year. I was once told, right, the way to change your life is to make a change. And that change starts with yourself. What is your goal and what are you looking to accomplish, right? I don't think many people realize that education is the first step and to really changing the way you live and the way you provide for those you love, okay? Again, crypto market is something so new. And I've always said this, money it's not real. Somebody said, I'm still at work. You're awesome, Dylan. You're awesome for being at work and getting educated. That shows us that every single one of you guys that's still on this call is making a decision to really level up and get educated, because that's the first step, right? And before I go over this slide, I want to ask you, what is your goal for next year? And what are you hoping to accomplish, right? Because as Andy, being in his early 20s, he has been able to not only stop, replacing, working and exchanging his time for money, but he has been able to use his money to, grow for him and invest his money for himself and his wife. Many of us have done the same. And a lot of people in this new digital world are doing it at a very young age. So it's time to really, really figure out what is your goal and what are you looking to accomplish, right? So before you guys go to sleep tonight, think about what is it that I need? And if education is that first step for you, if you guys are still on the fence of how do I figure this out? I'm looking at things, I don't understand them. We are here and we're providing these free educations for you every Wednesday. Inside the group chat, if you're not in there already, please join. This leads me to this slide that you're seeing right now, the Stock and Crypto Trading Bootcamp. It's the last one of the year. It is the last one Richard himself is doing. It's a 2-hour live trading session for 2 days with Richard himself, where you will be able to get educated with him from step 1 all the way to graduating with a certificate of completion from Day Trade Today, a certified certification stating that you have graduated from the bootcamp. Claudia signed up. Awesome, Claudia. Yes. If you're really serious and you guys are all still on this call, make sure you sign up. Don't hold yourself back from that life you're looking to accomplish by investing into your education. Many of us have invested into our education in college. I know I have. Many of us have as well. And we have put out loans. We have done everything we could to get educated. And as Andy mentioned, for some of us, that system has unfortunately failed us. And that's the main reason why we're so passionate about what we do here at Day Trade Today and educating you guys on a skill that not only will help you, but your family. The bootcamp, again, is 2 days, 2-hour, 2 to 3 hour sessions on both days. You'll learn crypto, a little bit of crypto, mostly on stock trading, but you will receive the full crypto course of Day Trade Today. You will receive the full course of the stock course. Both courses are completely, yours once you sign up for the bootcamp, and you will receive the Wolf Street NFT. Again, the NFT itself is minting on the 26th, and you guys, that project is taking off. If you guys haven't been able to join the whitelist, as I mentioned, every single one of you guys is about 75 of you left. You guys now, only you guys have the opportunity to go on there now and join the whitelist that has already been closed out. But Richard is opening it up today for the remainder hours until midnight. So you guys can go and join that whitelist exclusively only for these people on here. Again, if you guys need the link, go on the Day Trade Today Telegram group that we have. Go on the Discord if you're still not part of it and join. The bootcamp, again, is the last one. If you are serious about leveling up your education and really getting serious, and you're on the course is tax deductible, yes. Again, bootcamp, complete tax deductible. The NFT itself will probably pay you back that course, that one you're deducting from your taxes, and give you a profit. And imagine if you have $1,000, maybe you have $2,000, $5,000 sitting in your bank account, doing nothing, losing money through inflation. This is the time to really get serious and start investing your money and getting guided and getting educated. Again, the bootcamp is the last one. It's actually already filled, and Richard has opened it up. Thanks, Andy. Again, right now, we have just opened up for any of you guys who are interested in jumping on a call with one of us to ask us questions on how do I get started? I'm ready. I don't know what if the course itself, the crypto course itself, or the bootcamp is the right step for me. We're here to help you, guide you, and answer any of your questions that you guys may have. We have a whole team behind you, and you guys are family to us. Day Trade Today is a family. And Andy, thank you again for doing this amazing breakdown of the crypto market, which is very foreign to many of us. But you covered it really in detail, and we really want to thank you. Again, guys, reach out to any of us, and we're glad to help. Hope you guys enjoy your night. Again, we are here. Reach out to us, and you will receive all these things inside the group. So go over on there right now. 1, to book the bootcamp if you haven't already. Spots are already filled, but Richard is opening it up for you guys today. NFT whitelist. If you haven't been able to join that whitelist and secure your NFT before the 26th or Black Friday, right now is your chance to do it. Many of you guys have been messaging us, asking us, hey, the whitelist is closed out. How can I jump in, right? This is your time right now. Please follow us on YouTube, Day Trade Today, and on Facebook. Again, guys, enjoy your night. We're here to help. Thanks, Andy, again for your time, bro.
Thank you guys all again for attending. See you guys soon.
See you guys. Have a good night.